Okay, I'm here with Sheepy, the coach of Unicorns of Love, and we will talk about the game against H2K and about the upcoming Worlds and stuff. So, what was your initial plan going into the match versus H2K?
Personally, I felt that H2K is different to Fnatic. Fnatic relies very heavily on vision control, and they are way harder to beat in a straight up best of 5 since they are making less of mistakes. What we learned against H2K though is that if you make one major mistake, it is so easy to snowball on, and if you are not perseverant, you will at some point lose out. And for us, we always had crawling back games, so yeah. That was kind of what we tried to focus on in H2K, not to fall behind, but they managed to set us behind too early.
You touched on the vision control. Do you think that the fact that Kasing, the support of H2K, bought a lot more pink wards than you guys, do you think that had an effect on the game, especially with the catches they did?
I think that honestly our vision control was better than H2K's this game. I felt even though we were behind 2 or 3K, they were never able to establish a lead and pressure. That being said, they were just very, very strong playing around the map and managed to get those 2 team fights where afterwards we were not able to come back and managed to actually get an early lead in the lane swaps. So lane swaps is definitely something we need to look into again, and also the mindset going into a game, we need to be way more focused. So mistakes happen not so early in the game.
Okay, in game 2 you brought out the Gangplank with a lot of success.
Yeah.
Even though you sort of lacked a big tank, you had a Eve that Horo unfortunately fell behind. He died 2 times in the early game. There was a great invade and then the top lane counter gank. Do you still think that Gangplank is viable in competitive play? Because he had a marvelous game.
Yeah, I think that Gangplank is one of the strongest champions right now for top lane. Heavily AD based, and together with Nard, they are kind of one of a kind for top lane. I feel though that Gangplank doesn't fit into every team comp. I think you said it well. That sometimes if you don't have a frontline tank, they play something like Ahri or Rumble, they can just roll over you and you will die. So you need to be experienced playing with them, and I think Chachi played magnificently, although it didn't manage to pull us out ahead. And I think that was also to the fact that in the early game we invaded our weak side, died, and that set Horo behind very, very much, so that he even couldn't finish his red buff once he started it.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate,
Yeah.
especially with the smite.
At least he didn't die.
He didn't go for the broken shot, that's true.
He didn't go for the broken shot. I'm very happy.
So, Unicorns of Love are known for having those special tactics. You showed the Gangplank today. Was there anything that you prepared but couldn't show that we might see in the Gauntlet?
I cannot comment on that too much. I can just say that from the things we played, like Runeglaive, Ezreal, Gangplank and KO, all those kinds of picks are working in a way for us, and I'm 100% sure that we could not show the potential we saw in those picks, which is kind of sad, since a lot of people will distrust those picks, but well, in this case they will just be pulled out later, maybe from us in the Gauntlet, maybe from other people. I definitely think there will be more Gangplank, and everything else that comes, we will see in the Gauntlet.
Okay, you just touched on the mid lane smite kill. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but how come you picked the smite kill when you had almost no wave clear? The first 2 games, at least the early games, sort of went into the favor of H2K, and they already had a Lee Sin, so the jungle pressure was on H2K side basically.
Mm-hmm.
Why come you went for the kill?
We felt relatively comfortable in the early game. We had the Nidalee against the Lee, so basically in the early game you're relatively even, so you cannot face check a Lee Sin. Once you get some kind of control though, it's way easier for Nidalee to win than a Lee Sin since you have the range. We felt going with Kayle into the Fizz matchup was really advantageous from us, and even though we fell behind enormously once again, we were able to come back and try to stagnate the lead from them. Did not manage to do that, and in the end it didn't work out so well, but I think that Kayle is one of the picks that can show potential, but we were just never able to actually pull it off. And I think against Fnatic it was not the correct pick, since they were so well in using early game pressure and not making you useful. And against H2K it actually worked out quite well, but again. In the early game, we fall behind and just the death force. So yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. So going over to Worlds, what do you think as an analyst or coach are the main differences between the regions we have? We have NA, Korea, China, and of course Europe. Where do you think are the advantages or disadvantages?
I think that China plays the most solid games and is the most likely to win the games. I think that their play style just is the least abusable from all of them. Compared to the NA style, I think it's very heavily based on kills. I don't like that too much, but also shown there it's more an objective style, and that sometimes also leads to a lot of kills. So I think that from us it's kind of hard to say. I'll give any kind of comment, especially after a double 3-0 loss, but I think that China with their play style will come out ahead. Then Fnatic, I think, plays a similar style to China, and they just didn't have the right opponents yet to practice and perfect that style. I think then SKT, just Korea in general, plays a little bit more messy than China, but still really, really strong. And yeah, then NA and the other EU teams. So
Yeah, and the last question is about North America. So we have the finals with TSM versus CLG. Who do you think will win and why?
oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, apart from all of this, I always, oh man, it's really, really hard. I'm so hyped for those matches. Last time TSM and CLG played, there was like this huge hotshot GG, and I hope he gets his hair pink again. But either way, I think it will be, man, I think it will be TSM, just because the whole world will chant TSM and that kind of channels the energy into them. But I can also see CLG winning. But then again, I don't want to mess with either one of those, so, you know, the best team will win, I guess.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your time. Best of luck in the gauntlet. And yeah, we of course hope to see you at Worlds.
Yeah, thank you.